Hello, this is Dan Critchfield. This module will be a base comparison of the Q300M Mini to the Q400 and 500 mid-wheel drive and the Q700 mid-wheel drive. This is an intermediate Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is a go-to-market, and really what we're going to do is we're going to do a comparison, and this is at the intermediate level. So the expectations of this module, we will talk about the base sizing. We'll talk about other specifications between these three models, and we'll also talk about when and where you should choose a base. So first of all, talking about base sizing. The biggest thing about the base sizing that is different is the width of the base. The Q300M Mini comes in at 20.5 inches. If you use 14-inch drive wheels, it's actually at 21.25 inches. The existing Q400 and Q500 mid-wheel drive comes in at 24 inches, and the Q700M comes in at 25 inches. So you can see that there's quite a bit of difference between the width of the new Q300M Mini. The other thing is the base length. The base length of the Mini is 33 inches. The Q400 and 500 also have a 33-inch wheelbase because it's based on the same suspension element. And the Q700 mid-wheel drive has a 36.5-inch base length. The turning radius of these also has a big difference. The turning radius of the Q300 Mini comes in at a very small 16.9-inch turning radius, or an overall turning circle of 33.7 inch. The Q400 and 500 have an 18.5-inch turning radius with a 37-inch total space required for turning around. And the Q700 comes in at 23.5 inches in a turning radius with an overall size of 47 inch. So you can see that the base size of the Q300 Mini really does provide a much smaller space that is required to do this turning radius. Some of the other specifications between the three different bases are the weight limit of the Mini, the 300 Mini, is 300 pounds. Also, the weight limit of the Q400 and 500 mid-wheel drive is 300, but the Q700 mid-wheel drive comes in at 450 pounds. So if you're looking for a heavy-duty user weight, you really want to look at the Q700 mid-wheel drive. The base weight also has a bit of a difference. The weight of the base itself comes in at 110 pounds, where in comparison to the 400 and 500 at 125.7 pounds, and the Q700 mid-wheel drive also comes in at 143. So again, the Mini not only is smaller in its base size, but also is lighter. The suspension, we're using the all-wheel suspension on the Q300 Mini, as well as the Q400 500 mid-wheel drive. On the Q700 mid-wheel drive, we are using the SpiderTrack 2.0, which really gives it great outdoor performance. The drive tires on the Mini are a 12-inch or a 14-inch. On the 400 and 500, we're using the standard 13-inch, and on the Q700 mid-wheel drive, we're using the 14-inch drive wheel. Casters, you have a 7-inch caster on the 300, a 7-inch caster on the 400, 500, and a 6-inch caster on the Q700. We can use a 6-inch caster on the larger wheelchair because of the SpiderTrack suspension actually allows the flexing of the suspension to overcome obstacles. When it comes to motors, we have a 2-pole and a 4-pole motor option on the 300, a 2-pole and a 4-pole options. The 2-pole goes on the Q400, the 4-pole goes on the Q500, and on the 700 we have the 4-pole as well, but we have 3 options of the 4-pole, including the standard, the heavy duty, and the high speed packages. The speeds themselves, 6 miles an hour on the 300, 5 mile an hour on the 400, 6 mile an hour on the 500, and again on the 700 we have 3 motor packages: a 5 mile an hour package, which is our heavy duty package, a 6 mile an hour package standard, and the 8 mile an hour package, which is the high speed or group 4 package. When it comes to curb climbing, with the 14-inch drive wheel, we can actually attain a 4-inch curb climb on the Mini, where the standard is going to be at 3-inch. The 400 and 500 is at 3-inch, and again the 700 has, because of the SpiderTrack, has a capability to do a curb climb of up to 4 inches. When it comes to batteries, the battery for the Q300 is using a 50 amp hour battery. The 400 and the 500 use either a Group 22 or a Group 34 battery, and the 700 uses a Group 34 or that very large Group 24 battery. This affects the battery, the wheelchair range. So the range of the 300 is about 12.45 as tested. The 400 and 500, because of the Group 34, can get up to 14 miles. And because of the larger Group 24 batteries, the Q700M can go up to 18 miles. So again, the size of battery is directly reflective to the amount of range that you can get out of a given day. When it comes to seating, the Q300 can offer the Light, the Pro, and the Captain seat. The Captain seat is yet to come, but it will be offered. The Q400 and 500 also has the Light, Pro, and Captain seat. But the Q700 mid-wheel drive has the Ergo, including the Up Ergo, the Pro, and the Captain seat on it. When it comes to SEMI, the ability to drive while fully elevated, we do now have the option on all three of these models, which is great. And what is the chair best for? Well, the Q300, because of its small size, is really going to be best for that indoor environment. The 400 and the 500 gives you kind of a mix of good indoor and outdoor driving capability, where the 700 really shines on that outdoor performance. So that brings us to when we should choose which power chair. And these are my recommendations. When should you choose a Q300M Mini? Well, if turning space and the width is a key decision factor, then the Q300 Mini is really going to be what you want. Because of that small footprint of the chair, it's really going to be best for those indoor environments. If battery range is not a major concern, because again, we're using a smaller battery, if they're not really doing a lot of outdoor driving and a lot of long distance driving, and it's not a major concern, then the Q300 Mini could be a great choice. The base weight can also be a key decision factor, especially for our veterans who want to be able to use this chair with a tailgate lift. Okay, and seat sizing that is 18 inches or less. Now you can put a 20-inch seat wide seat on the Q300, but let's think about that. The seat size is now going to extend beyond the drive wheels themselves, and really that's going to kind of defeat the whole purpose of having a small base. So really, if you've got somebody who's under 18 inches or under, they're probably going to be a good candidate for this. But if you go any much larger than that, then you're really kind of defeating the purpose, and you probably should stay away from the Q300 Mini. So when should you choose a 400 or the 500 mid-wheel drive? Well, if you want a small base with a moderate outdoor capacity, this chair has been really great for us, and as a small base, it's done very well. And it does provide you great both indoor and outdoor capability, and that's really a good choice for many people. If you need a little bit more range than what you would get on the Mini, again, you can offer that Group 34 battery. It's going to give you a little better range, and so the 400 and the 500 may be a better choice. If you need to have a 50-degree tilt and a 12-inch seat elevator combined, if you remember, the Q300 Mini has a limitation that if you use a seat elevator and a tilt, you can only go to 30 degrees. So if somebody really needs to have the ability to do both a 12-inch seat elevator and have a 50-degree tilt on it, and they want a smaller base, again, the 400 and 500 is going to be able to give you both of that and have the SEMI option as well. Okay, and obviously if you're using seat sizing over 18 inches, but you still want a smaller base, the Q400 and 500 can be a great choice for you. Now, when should you choose a 700? 700 is going to be great for that outdoor capability. If your decision factor really has to do with how well you can go outdoors, then the 700 mid-wheel drive is really your best choice. Especially if you're looking at range. If you're trying to drive at a longer distance, a further distance, then again, that 700 is going to give you that greatest outdoor range. If you need a heavy-duty option above 300 pounds, or you need to use a high-speed or Group 4, then again, the 700 mid-wheel drive is going to be that chair that gives you those battery options and those weight packages options. If you're going to go towards an ergo seating or the Up Ergo, for standing, you must use a Q700 mid-wheel drive, and that is going to be your base of choice for those seating options. So in summary, base sizing, again, very small base on the Mini, great for those indoor opportunities. All the other specifications we talked about, which are important, including range and seat sizing and seat choices. We talked about when to make those base choices as well. And that really wraps this up. Thank you for your time.